You don't need a budget. Let that sink in. If you are a high income earner, if you're already doing the hardest part, that is earning more than enough, what you need is a system, a strategy, a way to build wealth without the daily grind of budgeting apps and receipts. I love my budgeting apps, but I know it's not for everyone. Today, I want to give you the tools that will actually work with your lifestyle. If you're sick of hearing advice like, stop buying lattes, this video, my darling, is for you. I want to flip everything you thought you knew about managing money at your income level. This isn't a budget. This is the anti-budgeting method. I know, why is the girl who loves to talk about budgeting, who teaches people how to budget, talking about the anti-budgeting method? I am seeing a difference in what my life looks like now as a high income earner having to budget versus where I was 10 years ago, where I was barely making anything at all. The anti budgeting method is designed specifically for high income professionals who don't have a whole lot of debt. Okay? So for me, I use this sparingly now compared to about a year ago. Because in this budget, we're not tracking pennies, we're building empires here. This method puts your money on autopilot while giving you the freedom to live fully and spend without guilt. This is really important. You are a high income earner. You worked really hard to get here. Nobody gives a crap if you're spending money on lattes. The most important thing is that your money is first going to build your wealth. Here is how this video is going to go. We are going to automate to dominate. That's the word of the day. I want you to set goals, clear goals for your investments, your savings, and your debt payoff so that they run without you automatically. Then we will give you a guilt-free fund. This is so that you can spend the money you want without shame or second guessing. And then we are going to talk about percent power, budgeting with simple, scalable percentages instead of categories. Yes, we are moving to X percent is doing this, X percent is doing that. And then we are going to have an honest conversation about lifestyle creep and how you can actually protect your wealth from the silent financial sabotage of creep. Then we'll end the conversation with what I call consistent check ins. You need to stay in control of your finances by constantly doing audits every month to at most every 3 months. I'm not endorsed doing a check-in every quarter because I just don't believe in that. But a lot of people who are high income earners don't want to sit there and be checking the money every single month. But I highly encourage you to check it every single month. By the end of this video, you are going to walk away with a plan that feels like freedom. You will feel in control without feeling restricted, and you'll stop obsessing over spending and start focusing on what's most important. That is building real wealth. This video today is about financial empowerment redefined. If you're ready to stop budgeting like you're broke and to start managing your money like the high income powerhouse that I know you are, stick around with me. Welcome to Lessons Lived, everybody. I am Nandy, and if you are new here, I'm so glad you found this space. Ours is a community of ambitious women who take action. We leverage our full-time jobs to build scalable side businesses because we know wealth isn't an escape plan, it's a power move. Your 9 to 5 is a launch pad, not a limitation. If you, my darling, want to turn your career into capital, your expertise into income, and your business into a legacy, you're in the right place. Today, we are tackling the NT budgeting method. I love my budget, but I know that budgeting, especially when you're a high income earner, needs to look a little bit different. Traditional budgeting methods, especially for high income earners like you, can be a little bit challenging to stick with. Let's be honest, meticulously tracking every dollar isn't always practical. Your time, frankly, could be spent a lot better. But today, there's a way to manage your money that is both effortless and very effective for you. In this method, I don't need you to cut out the lattes or to stress over spreadsheets. You need a system that automates wealth building while letting you enjoy your success. Yes, you worked really hard to get here. You deserve to enjoy your success without guilt. So now let's jump right into the 5 steps of the NT budgeting method. The first one is to automate your wealth building. In this step of the NT budgeting method, you want to make your money work before you even see it. Okay? We don't want to see the money. We just want it to automatically go to where it's going to work for us. Okay? You are going to automate your investments. You will set up an automatic transfer to your brokerage account. Who's your brokerage? I personally love Vanguard and Fidelity. Those are my top two that I tend to recommend. I used to have Vanguard. I moved to Fidelity because Fidelity really does give me freedom and flexibility to easily do it from my phone. Okay, so for me, my investments are automatically go into my bank account. I don't even see it. I don't even think about it. If you are a full-time employee, you have a 401k. I want you right now, as soon as this video is done, actually, not right now, watch me first. You want all the good stuff I'm going to give you. I want you to go and automate your 401k investments. If you have a Roth 401k, automate that too. I want you to automate your Roth IRA investments, right? Automate it all. The second thing you're going to automate is your savings. This is your emergency fund savings. I want a portion of your paycheck to go straight to a high yield savings account so that any type of investing, you guys, you determine what that is going to be, right? It's up to you to determine what is that going to be. It's going to be 10%, 15%, 20%. It goes straight into a high yield savings account. If, like me, you have a lot of debt, it's up to you to almost kind of prioritize. Is the second thing you're going to do to automate your savings or your debt payment? One way or another, we are going to automate debt payments. So I want you to automate extra payments, not just the minimum payments, okay? And I'll be doing another video about this, right? So usually you want to tackle one debt at a time, pay the minimum into all of the other ones, take one debt and tackle it so that you're making progress, right? Because if you divide your money everywhere, you won't really be seeing the progress you are making. If you have 5 debts that you're trying to pay off, pay the minimum on all of them, pick one debt and automate extra payments to that debt so that you are accelerating the payoff. The goal here is that you are paying yourself first and you're building wealth on autopilot. I also have to say this channel is about women who are building side businesses. If you're one of those women who's building your side business, you could add a fourth account here. That is your wealth building account, right? That is where outside of your emergency fund, because you need an emergency fund, you will have a wealth building fund, right? And it doesn't have to be expensive. Let's say you want to start a YouTube channel. in about a year. What are you going to need for that YouTube channel? Maybe you want to have a $2,000 budget to start that YouTube channel so that you can buy your lights, your cameras, set up like a nice little studio in your house. $2,000. You start today, you put aside $200 every month for your wealth building fund. But no matter what, you are going to automate what is most important by paying yourself first. Step number 2 is we are going to allocate a guilt-free spending limit. Yes. Instead of tracking every little expense, we don't have time for that. We will decide each month how much we want to spend freely without thinking about it. This is your guilt-free spending fund. Whether it's dining out, shopping, travel, whatever you want to enjoy without the stress, because you already took care of what's most important to you, right? You took care of your investments, you took care of your emergency fund, you took care of your debt, you took care of your wealth building. For example, you bring in $15,000 a month. You might set aside 1,000, 2,000 for guilt-free spending, knowing that the rest is already managed. Okay? If you have debt, that number might be lower. If you don't have debt, that number might be higher, right? But it's up to you to be very cognizant of where you stand in your financial position. Step number 3, percent-based budgeting. Instead of breaking down every dollar into category, I want you to think in terms of percentage, right? So simple percentages based on your income. This is a simple anti-budget breakdown that would look something like this. So here's my money. 50% will go towards wealth building, right? And in that wealth building, I will have my investments, my savings, my debt pay down, and maybe my wealth building there too. 30% will go towards my fixed critical bills, my fixed expenses. That is my mortgage, my utility, my insurance, etc. Right? And then 20% will be your fun money. This is I want to travel, I want to eat out, I want to shop, I want to have experiences, right? Those will be your variable expenses. Once you've done all of that, like think about it. If you at the beginning of every month, you take care of business, the rest of the money is yours to spend any way you want to. You see how this method also allows you to scale your spending proportionately to your income. So if you're making more money, yeah, 20% of 10,000 is a lot more than 20% of 20,000. I like this method because it takes you away from thinking about cutting back your expenses into increasing your income, because honestly, I would much rather we be having a discussion about how you can make more money over how much you can cut here and there. The fourth step here is to manage lifestyle creep and avoid financial plateaus. This is a very sensitive one, especially for high income earners, because it's really easy to tell yourself, I make a lot of money because I have the money in my account, I'm going to spend it. We're not doing that. High income earners often fall into the trap of lifestyle creep because it's so easy, right, to justify spending without building real wealth. So let's talk about some strategies of how you can prevent that from happening. The first one is that I really want you to stick to your percentages. Even as your income grows, you need to maintain that ratio. I also want you to upgrade mindfully. It's okay to upgrade your lifestyle, but do it intentionally, not impulsively. And also remember, when it comes to taste, when it comes to lifestyle upgrades, honey, what goes up often doesn't come down. I used to drive a beat up car. Huh? I mean, I had no payments. The car was good enough to take me from point A to point Z. It was not pretty. Every once in a while, I always made sure that it was detailed and always clean to kind of compensate from the fact that it was a beater. When I switched to a new 21st century car with the leather seats and all of the computers and all of the technologies, this is how the rich people live. Oh, I've been missing out. I have been missing out on how the rich people lived. Guess who will probably never go back to the beaters? This girl. So as you're upgrading your life, honey, remember, even just the place where I live. I'm going to show you guys a video of when I was looking for this apartment. Houses that would have been perfectly fine with me 10 years ago, I was just like, no, I can't. I can't. Even though I have debt, I ended up paying an extra $300 or $400 a month because I was like, I've just reached a place in my life where I want better, right? Because I raised my standards. So just think about that, right? I also want you to stay focused on financial independence. More money should mean more freedom, not just more expenses. This is really important. In order for you to truly avoid lifestyle creep, your money should be buying you freedom. It shouldn't just be an expense. Every single day when I wake up in the morning, that is the first question I ask myself before I make any purchase at all. Is this purchase going to build me wealth or is it just an expense? The final step is that I want you to be doing audits. You need to be auditing your finances on a monthly basis. I do mine on a weekly basis, but that's because I have debt, a lot of credit card debt, and I need to stay on top of that credit card debt to always be making sure that I'm catching any interest that's coming in and that I'm cleaning everything up. So instead of tracking daily expenses, cutting back here and there, a monthly audit allows you to be able to review your savings, your investment growth, and also how overall you are tracking with your expenses. So the first thing I want you to do when you're doing your audit is that you're reviewing your savings growth, your investments growth. That's the first thing you're going to do. The second thing is that I want you to assess if your spending aligns with your values. This right here is really important. The goal for these audits is not so that you can figure out where you can penny pinch, but it's so that you can figure out if where the bulk of your expenses is coming from aligns with where you want to take yourself on your financial independence and wealth building journey. If 90% of your expenses is going to concert, having a fine time with girls, nothing wrong with that. Something I need to work on myself. Right? You need to assess if that is really your core value or if you have other goals that you could allocate some of that money to that goal. The third thing I want you to do is to adjust your percentages if necessary. It's important for you to realize that when you are setting even this anti budget, it's not set it and forget it. You are constantly adjusting where you need to. Let's say next week, next month, you have X, Y, and Z coming up. Yeah, we would have to align and adjust your budget with whatever is coming next. So adjust those percentages accordingly. This will keep you in control without necessarily micromanaging your money. Before we go, I want to level set the conversation here. Anti budgeting isn't about restrictions. Right? Every time I find it funny when I talk to people about budgeting, right? It's like I call them the F word. Budgeting isn't about restrictions. It's about making money work for you in a way that is effortless and that puts you in the control seat. Step one, we talked about automating your savings, your investments, your debt pay down, and even your wealth building. right? As the first thing you ought to think about on this anti-budgeting method. Then we talked about the importance of you creating some sort of guilt-free spending limit. We also wanted to put some structure in place with your finances by setting up a percentage based budgeting system that doesn't necessarily rely on you tracking every little expense, but to focus broadly on where your money is going. I also want you to remember as we go the lifestyle crib check. You need to be checking that as you're making more money, you're not letting that get over your head. You want to be level headed. You should be giving yourself better things. But just be careful that these things are not taking away from what really matters to you. The last thing I want you to remember to do regularly is to do your financial check ins, to do your financial audits on a monthly basis, at most on a quarterly basis. But I promise you, if you do monthly check ins, your life is going to drastically change because you will have full control over your money. You will know exactly where your money is going, where your money is coming. You will know exactly the flow of your money, where it's coming from and where it's going. If this system sounds like a breath of fresh air, then please hit that like button and subscribe for more strategies on building wealth without the stress. And also, drop me a comment. I want to know, what's your biggest budgeting struggle as a high income earner? Let's talk about it. I have a lot of great videos coming up on real estate investing, on the scarcity mindset. I've been personally going through an epiphany where I realized that the scarcity mindset has been driving my life, leading me to make decisions out of fear and not out of abundance. And I would love to be able to share this journey to wealth building with me. Thank you so much for joining me for another video, and I will see you in the next one.